Mr. Ivey know the show must go on. And far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised dogs, closed fish, yeah, too strong. Team AI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlative, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info about it? Hey yo, John O. B. the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivey, so superlative like a bag of Drippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati Reds at. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 513, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
It is a beautiful day for me already, a beautiful midweek day. Today is Wednesday, June 19th, 2019. Juneteenth. Today is Juneteenth. On today's show, I want to talk about why Juneteenth matters, maybe even more than it ever has before. 157 years since the so-called end of slavery for the descendants of slaves. But my question is, what's the next move for African Americans? What's the next move? It's been 157 years. What's the next move? Also, stop the fake outrage over Lavar Ball. Apparently, he went on ESPN and made some comments. People are trying to make it sexual. And really all it comes down to is trying to bring down a brother. That's it. A brother that loves his children. That's it. And I got to call it out. Here's my number if you want to share your thoughts this morning, 513-873-7134. Good morning to you. That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of things percolating that we must discuss this morning. I want to give you a heads up. Today is Wednesday, so in a couple days, that's 2 days from now, on Friday at 12:30 p.m. approximately, I want you to check out the next installment, the next episode of the Is It Just Me podcast. Good morning to you. And Donnie B will be talking about, she'll be arming people with knowledge. Know your rights. Did you watch or have you heard about? Did you watch the Netflix series When They See Us? Are you aware of the Central Park Five? Are you aware of the various injustices that Black people in particular, people of color, African Americans have had endured? Are you aware of that? Are you aware that that can happen today? Well, Donnie B will be answering your questions. That's Friday. It's Friday, and you can watch it on our social media pages, Facebook, on my page, but go over to Sin Digital Media. We hit 400 followers on that Facebook page. Appreciate you. Thank you. 400's a big number. I'll take it. I will take it. And I'm hearing great things. People are really liking the streams. They enjoyed the podcast, but I think they're really enjoying the streams as I anticipated they might. As I anticipated. So we've got our latest two streams are up now from the Cincinnati NAACP because Tracy Hunter gave Sin Digital Media an exclusive way before she talked to the mainstream press. They put up exclusive yesterday. It was not an exclusive. It was not. And then also the Is It Just Me podcast, which streams on Fridays. Good morning to you, everybody. Today's Juneteenth. What is Juneteenth? Black Independence Day. June 19th, 1865. Juneteenth is a celebration honoring the day when black slaves were legally freed in the United States. Okay, now we understand that if you want to call it slavery, continued, and that the impact of it 157 years later. And would you like to know why the impact of slavery is still being felt 157 years later? It's because of racist policies from this government. It's because of the forces out there that want to keep black people in chains. They want to keep black people in chains after, the so-called Emancipation Proclamation. Yeah, Juneteenth. There's going to be things over at Eden Park here in Cincinnati and across the country. There'll be events today, but of course, a lot of folks will be doing stuff on the weekend. And I think Juneteenth matters, especially to people who are the descendants of slaves. Like, if you're not a descendant of slaves, you probably don't give a damn about Juneteenth. June what? What is that, a party? Does that come after Mardi Gras? Is that after Fat Tuesdays? Is Juneteenth the Wednesday after Fat Tuesdays? No. No, it's not. It's not. Abraham Lincoln, good white folks, issued the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863. It was intended, as the story goes, to free all the slaves. Okay, but it didn't. Took some time. And have we ever gotten a handle on the number of people who, even after the Emancipation Proclamation, were not told that they were emancipated by their slave owners and were left to be slaves, even after so many other brothers and sisters have been legally freed from the chains of bondage? Do we have an accurate number on that? Someone should write a book. I'm sure there are many books on it, including a really dope book titled The Black History of the White House. Super dope book. You must check that out. So that's why people celebrate Juneteenth. That's why it's important. Very important. 157 years. And the reason why there's still so many inequities is because of racism and racist policies. Is because for a long time, the government was basically a racist instrument that was used to keep black people, the descendants of slaves, essentially in perpetual darkness. And then after the Great Revolution, the Great White Liberal Revolution in the mid-60s, okay, even when you had these federal policies, you had forces, cultural forces, you had people, millions of people, who in effect were working against the interests of black people. If you look at the inequities in existence in Cincinnati, those between black and white, they could not persist to this day if there weren't two things going on. People willfully acting like they don't know what's going on and ignoring it, and then people actively participating in it. There's the only two ways. It's the only two ways. This ain't no mistake. It ain't an accident that the average wealth of a black household in Cincinnati is about $30,000, $34,000 less on average than the household of white folks that live in Cincinnati. See, a lot of people want you to believe that's just black people, that's black non-excellence, but no, that's a damn lie. I mean, all various things play into this, but we know what it is. It's people who are just turning their backs on what they see because don't bother me, and people actively participating in it. It's the only other way, man. There's no other way around it. You know it, and I know it. Juneteenth. But where do we go from here? What happens over the next 157 years? Okay? Where do we go from here? Is it all about economics? Is it about justice? Is it about unity? Well, what is it? I mean, today's a great day to analyze My Country 'Tis of Thee. Today's a great day to analyze the relationship that black people have with themselves and the relationship that black people, the descendants of slaves, or African Americans, however you want to define yourself. I mean, they're all the same. It's a great day to look at ourselves and ask, what's up? It's also a great day to look at white folks and ask, what's up? It's a great day for that. It's Juneteenth, 2019. All right, let me get my phone lines together for folks that might want to give us a call this morning. As usual, all I ask is that you open your mind before you open your mouth. Other than that, it's all good. It's all good. Speak your piece. We've had some I love the energy. We've had some great energy over the last few days. I love it. Good morning to you. Many things to discuss. Derek writes, morning choppers check in from Pensacola, Florida. Okay, Derek, good to see you. Cincy Tigers writes, good morning, good to see you. Tracy writes, hi. I see Broadway Flow's got another, he's got another captain's log. He writes, let me see if I can get my voice together here. He writes, captain's log, June 19th, 2019. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without some strong flows to step to. Think of all the weak Mason flows you slept through. Time's up. Sorry, I kept you. Mitch. Oh, Mitch. Perfect name, by the way. Blacks' distrust of Democrats are rising, and you show them why they can't even trust Republicans either. Nobody in D.C. wants reparations, but your dumbass says it out loud. Three things to learn here. Republicans don't F with blacks. Democrats don't F with blacks. And AOC better stop comparing detention centers to concentration camps from the Holocaust. Washington is bugging. Blacks are being gunned down at every chance, and the alt-middle wolves just try to make sense of all of this. Alas, I'm about to beam up to the mothership. This broad done stood me up. Don't she know who I am? The nerve. Anyway, good morning. Hashtag alt-middle. Ayatollah stand up. Great flow. We'll go ahead and rack you. It's a Florida morning so far. I love it. What's wrong with you? You're going to beam back up to the mothership. Yeah, nobody wants reparations. Today's a great day to talk about the reality of reparations. Was all that talk with the Democrats, which seems to have cooled off? You notice nobody's really, either nobody's really pushing for reparations over the last month, or the media is not reporting on it anymore. They're like, that old story. But we don't hear the same conversation about reparations, do we? I don't know. I don't know. You tell me. As if it's really going to happen with the election of the next president. I'm just telling you, I just don't see that's going to happen. Like, would I prefer to have a pro-reparations president rather than an anti-reparations president or a reparations denier? I'm not with any reparations deniers. If you deny the fact that the descendants of slaves deserve reparations, I got a problem with you. I'm not with the reparations deniers. But realistically, do we have the infrastructure? Is the community really energized, really behind this? I know elements of it are. I think it makes a lot of sense, but really? I'm not really sure. Mitch McConnell said that reparations for slavery, not such a good idea. Not really feeling that. And it's all over the place. It's like reparations? No. No. Does that change your viewpoint of the Republican Party? Because Mitch McConnell is a part of it. But really, is there anything about Mitch McConnell that reads he's pro-reparations? Nothing. There's nothing about the man, so I'm not that surprised by it. Before we go deeper, a couple of props here. Props to one of our own, the Mason Mahler. Heard he had another fantastic air shift on another media channel, but I support that brother 1,000%. Heard he was slaying Ken Anderson. I can see that and hear that not much has changed. Slay him. Slay him. And then put like a little Team NI, brand on his bottom. Let him know. Yeah, I said it. And then secondly, Tracy I think she's right now like broadcasting live from the Tom Joyner Morning Show. She posted a video inside the Friends page. Check it out. She ran into Roland Martin. Now, Tracy, I could tell because Roland Martin's a very interesting character. I don't know the cat, but one thing that's interesting about him is that if you ask him to take a photograph, he has to take the photograph himself. He has to take the photograph himself. Like he wants to take your phone and he wants to get a good shot and he wants to do it because Roland Martin doesn't trust people to operate their own phones. And when I saw the photograph that she took with Roland Martin, I can already tell that he was like, well, give me your phone. And then he took the photograph. Tracy, if you're listening, is that true? It's just a theory. And, I didn't mind it. It didn't really bother me. I mean, if I go up to somebody, they want to take the picture, go right ahead. Now, I did have to wipe down my phone. I do carry, some sanitary wipes just for situations like that. Because you never know what people do with their hands. People can be very nasty. You might think they're clean, but they're not really clean. So let me know, Tracy, if you can hear me. She writes, hi. Jared writes, good morning, #team and I. Mrs. Love Being Black writes, good morning, fellow beautiful citizens of Cyber Wakanda. Yes. Good morning to you. I feel like we need some music. Don't you? Yeah. I feel like we need some music. Pamela writes, morning choppers. Hold on, I think we got a call on the line as well. Hold on 1 second. Let's take the caller. My apologies, call. Let's go straight to you. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
What up, though, Nate? Good morning to you, too.
Oh, look who it is, everybody. What's going on?
It's always me, bro. I'm here every day. What do you mean? Look who it is.
Yeah, they don't know that. They don't know who it is before you get on the line.
I know, but they know as soon as they hear my voice, just like you know. Hey,
yeah,
brother,
dumb shit's about to happen. They already know.
McConnell, what? I'm going to overlook that. Mitch McConnell, did you really hear what he said? Did you watch the whole clip of his explanation why we blacks, ADOS, shouldn't receive reparations?
Yeah, what'd you think about it?
Reasoning.
As a matter of fact, I'm about to play it for folks who missed it.
Dumbest pink man walking. He made the claim no one is alive who did that. So basically, we shouldn't pay him. America is alive. America did it. So therefore, you should be paying them. Not to mention, when their parents die and their grandparents die, they didn't make that money, but they sure as hell take the wealth, don't they? I mean, I have not known a white man not to take the wealth that his grandfather had made, who he didn't make himself. So it's the same philosophy. Have you been paying attention to ADOS Tone Talk, bruh? I'm sure you haven't because you watch Hunky Bob.
Say that again now.
Have you been paying attention to ADOS with Tone Talk? And I'm sure you haven't because you watch Hunky Bob. So I'm sure Tone Talk just went over your head. But you need to get with the brother. You need to have a conversation with him.
What do we miss?
You need to have that conversation. What do you miss? Where you been? The White House is discussing reparations because of ADOS. Where the hell you been?
Where the hell you been? Don't you hear us talking about it?
You've been watching Hunky Ball. You talking about Lavar, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be talking about it later. But thanks for the call. I can tell you going off topic on some dumb shit. So let me let you go. Appreciate it, though. But to answer your question, again, I don't know where to answer dumbass questions. You hear us talking about it. So are you asking me, are we not aware of what's going on? Keep listening, son. Obviously, you're not aware. Save all the other stuff for somebody who might appreciate it. I don't. So you got a point to make, just make it. But, in terms of what you said about Mitch McConnell, that's exactly right. That's the most ridiculous argument I've ever heard. Well, nobody's alive who actually committed these offenses. What? That's your rationale? But that's the rationale of white people who feel that way about reparations. He perfectly echoes that. That's how they feel. They feel like, well, I wasn't a slave owner, so why should we have to pay, right? As if the ramifications of it should just be ignored. We should just ignore all of that. Hell to the no, we shouldn't ignore all of that. This fool's still on my phone, still calling me. He just don't know. Fools rush in where fools have been before. He just don't know. Ridiculous. What is this here? Oh, okay. Great. That works. No problem. Mason Moeller writes, morning day and the choppers, #facts matter. Yes, they do. Pamela writes, morning choppers. Pat writes, she writes, good morning with 2 G's. I'll take it though. Cassandra writes, great risings, beautiful souls. Pamela writes, Broadway flow, your flow is definitely wrong on some points. Yeah, a lot of points. A lot of them. Pam writes, great job. Great. Well, she writes, morning, Glenn. Great job yesterday. Ray writes, good morning, all. Pamela writes, she's saying hello to everybody. Brenda writes, happy Wednesday. It is a happy Wednesday. Tracy writes, the Khalif Browder story is just as sad as the CP5 story. Yes, it is. It's terrible what happened to that brother. It is very sad. But what if you are falsely accused of something? What if your family member is falsely accused of something right now? What are you going to do? What questions are you going to ask? What rights do you have? Think about it. And these are some of the questions that Donnie B will be addressing on Friday at 12:30 p.m. So even if you can't watch that stream live, you'll be able to watch the show afterward. It'll be up on our Facebook page. You can watch it whenever you get ready to. If you just want to listen to the show, you can also do so because we'll be broadcasting live via Spreaker as well. So you can go to the Spreaker Send Digital Media page. You can find a particular page, and I'll post it as well inside the Chop Shop for you. Matter of fact, I'll do it for you right now. If you want to subscribe to just that particular podcast or all the podcasts produced by Send Digital Media. But whatever the case may be, I know Fridays can be a little bit hectic for folks. It could be sort of your midday break, okay? And just tune us on. You can put us on your smartphone or your laptop or your desktop or whatever you might be listening to. Some people even have smart cars, or maybe your Alexa or your Google Assistant. And just tell them to play the Is It Just Me podcast with Donnie B. Or again, go on Twitter. You can just watch the show live. Send Digital Media. All right. And thanks to all the new followers, we hit 400. Matter of fact, we hit 400 a couple days ago. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much. People are saying great things. Check out that stream on Friday. Check it out. Even if you miss it live, check it out later. Check it out later. All right. What if that's you? You know, what if you're in a Khalif Browder type of situation and it's a family member? Okay. What if? And if you've got any questions, you can put them into the Chop Shop this morning for Donnie B. If you already know, like I won't be able to interact live, Nate, but I do have a question for Donnie B. Drop it in here and then I'll make sure that she gets a chance to see it. We'll be choosing different questions from the audience and your question may get answered. Maybe. Know your rights. Arm yourself with knowledge. Knowledge is power. And as we learned in an epic episode of Game of Thrones, power is power, as we learned. Damn, I'm so mad about that show. Damn it. Damn, I'm mad about it. Speaking of the NBA, even though this brother's trying to bring us down, I guess you can't be trying to bring me down because I don't give a damn what you like. You are wasting your time with that, Black Lion. But as I said, though, you did jog a memory. For folks who like the NBA, this is a really interesting time this summer as we're trying to figure out where particular stars are going to land. For folks who are into that kind of entertainment, enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. If you're a Laker fan, if you're a LeBron James fan, LeBron is back. And that's great. I love it. A son of Ohio. I love it. It's beautiful. The Warriors just lost. Beautiful. I love all of it. If you want to chop it up, let me know. Let me know. Ray's in the house. She writes hello. Angela's in the house. She writes salutations. Pam writes, haha, Glenn, they seem to not like you because they ain't got what you got. That does happen. TNT's in the house. She writes good morning. People saying great things to Glenn. That's beautiful. Mason Muller writes, you know how it is, Pam. Alt-middle haters gonna hate. Exactly. Sissy Tiger writes, Nathan, all the slaves in Texas were not told for 2 months that they had been emancipated. Dig that. I can believe it. Well, just because, look in the city of Cincinnati, black people are not even, I won't even say black people. I mean, I would say in general, there's still a knowledge deficit in the city of Cincinnati. But how many times have we heard about some great opportunity after it's already been sort of put out there in certain elements of the community? Happens all the time. I can definitely see that. We know the history. We know what happened. And I would probably say that it was probably more widespread than that, Cincy Tigress. You know, I think there's a story to be told, you know, right after the emancipation of the slaves. There's a story there that a lot of history books don't want to touch because they want to make it seem like once everybody got to an enlightened state and they emancipated the slaves, well, then everybody was treating black folks equally. That's not true. It would be great if it was, but that's not true. That's not what happened. But let's go back to the phones. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the show. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Ivey. This is your number one fan calling in live and direct from the left coast, also known as the People's Republic of California. Mr. Ivey, how are you doing this morning, sir?
I'm doing great.
Good. I waited till you finished your monologue, and I did not hear you mention the enormous, overflow crowd in Orlando, Florida at the Trump rally. Now, I'm assuming that you chose not to mention it because it is news. Am I correct?
Yeah, I mean, your assumption is right. I chose not to mention. I'll get to it later. I've got some clips of the president. He's always worth a few chuckles and a few "oh my God" moments.
Yeah, I kind of knew you probably would later. So my question is, or not a question, but I just wanted to point out that prior to Trump leaving to fly off to Orlando, you know how he has his little press gaggle in front of the helicopter or the airplane, and the media is yelling, Mr. President, Mr. President. Your girl and our number one throt, which means thirsty reporter out there, Miss April D. Ryan, the White House correspondent for National Urban Radio.
You're disrespectful.
No, Nate, I haven't said anything disrespectful.
You called her a throt.
She's a thirsty reporter, along with
she's not thirsty.
Mr. Jim Acosta.
When you say
Jim
thirsty,
Acosta from CNN.
Okay, so let's analyze this. So when you say thirsty, what do you mean by thirsty? April Ryan is thirsty in what way? Okay, when I say a thirsty reporter out there, I'm talking about these reporters who want to be celebrities. Okay, and I'm talking about there's only a few reporters that are part of the Washington media group. And she's one of them. Appear on all, and she's one of them. Yes, and she writes books, and she goes on these shows, and she promotes these books. If she wasn't a well, I'm not even going to put it out there, but she appears on some of the late night shows, but not very many. And Jim Acosta is another reporter that does the same thing, and that's why I call her a thirsty reporter out there. That's not being thirsty. That's just modern day reporting. She's not the first reporter. She's not the first reporter to write a book. Why is it that when a white man, why is it when a white man who's a reporter writes books, okay, like Bob Woodward, a journalist, used to be a reporter, he writes books now. Nobody calls him thirsty. And he is thirsty. I just described to you what a thirsty reporter out there is. And I didn't want to mention Bob Woodward because he's so old and damn crusty, Nate. You don't know nobody knows who the hell Bob Woodward is. Everybody knows who Bob Woodward is. Jim Acosta. They know Jim Acosta because of Sarah Sanders and the Trump administration and because he had the studs to stand up. So I'm saying same thing with April Ryan. The reason why she has a name is because she was dealing with an ignorant administration that tried to lie to us, and she would stand up and ask questions and push back. That's not being thirsty. That's called journalist. That's called being a journalist. Nate, don't get me wrong. You know I'm a capitalist. I don't have a problem with the system making money by selling books. But all I'm telling you is these are the tactics that these reporters use who want to be celebrities. The other thing that's wrong. She calls it. Yes. The other thing that's wrong is that it's too close to thought, which is that hoe over there. And it's just wrong for you to refer to that woman in any way as a thought, whether it's a thought, a mot. It's just wrong. Nate, I did not call the woman a whore. You just did. I'm just telling you why I think it's wrong for you to call her a thought. That's it. Nate, you know I'll be killing it on Twitter. It's easier to do a hashtag than it is to write out the whole thing, okay? So I just go hashtag TROT. Thirsty reporter out there. I didn't call the woman a whore. So can I get back to my point? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Now, again, April Ryan is at this press gaggle before the first orange president gets on the plane heading out to Orlando. And she asked the question about the Central Park 5 and Ava DuVernay. I always mess her name up, Nate. But the Ava DuVernay movie on Netflix about the Central Park 5. April Ryan throws this question at Trump. Now, I don't know if you have this in your audio clips, but when you hear the response that he gave, you could tell it was a set-up question, and Trump knew it was a set-up question. So that goes to what I was telling you about the purpose of her putting that movie out during this election season, Nate. You even talked about it this morning.
Now, I know it was mostly in reference to Donnie D's podcast coming up, but you got into this discussion with me about how the media is willing accomplice of the Democrat Party, and they are 100% behind their agenda. And when April Ryan asked that question, it made me think about what I told you and what I've been telling you, Nate, how everything is all set up by design, Nate. The Democrat Party hasn't been out of power for a long time. They had Obama for 8 years, Nate, and they're kind of rusty in how to respond when they're out of power. So now it's like they're stuck with this whole narrative about Trump being a racist because they need the black vote, Nate. So you're going to see more stuff coming out in the media, okay? And I just wanted to point that out. And I know you're looking for the clip, and you're going to find it because the clip was run on national news, what Trump said to April Ryan as far as her question about the Central Park Five. I'm not going to say the question because you might want to play the clip later. But all I'm telling you, Nate, that rally yesterday, it was a 20,000 seat arena. It was filled to capacity. People were out. Nate, this is huge, and it is in Orlando. It is a swing state. Like I was telling you the other day, these swings that are in play, it's going to be a lot of coverage in those states. Ohio, Florida, Michigan, Pennsylvania, purple states like Arizona, New Mexico. And speaking of Arizona, you know where that case came out that went national with the couple from the dollar store. And that's all I'm saying, Mr. Ivey. I'm not trying to go no black-white stuff, and you know I don't play that. All I am the voice of reason, Mr. Ivey, the trust but verify guy, okay? And all I'm telling you is the media is on a mission because 5 to 8 is all it takes. Drop Squad 52, dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Peace.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and rack them on that one. Although I don't think anybody's buying it. Nobody's buying that the Democrats are in control of the media. Because if the Democrats are in control of the media, they get better press. I mean, it's just logic. It's logic. If the Democrats had control of the media, then Hillary Clinton would have given better press. If the Democrats had control of the media, then Donald Trump wouldn't have got so much free press in the run-up to the 2016 election. Donald Trump got free press from not just Fox News, but, so-called mainstream news as well, especially cable television news. They were all giving him free press. Now, if the Democrats had control of it, why would they allow that to happen? So just think about it logically, man. I think the laziest observation in the world is to paint the media as all one thing or whatever. There's a lot of different forms of media. Depends on what you're talking about. And you can't expect a dog to stop barking and stop meowing. Dogs bark. That's what dogs do. So if you get a media channel and they've already showed you who they are and what they represent, believe them. That's who they are. That's who they are. That's who they are, period. And some people can't get out of the old way of thinking. They think in a very traditional way. But, we here in Cyber Wakanda, we are futurist. We look to the future. It's all about what can be, not just what is. So, yeah, we'll get to Trump later on next hour. I just don't want to hear his voice right now. More local news. Overnight, an 18-year-old was shot and killed in South Fairmont. Looking at the photograph of the young brother, no, he'll never turn out to be what he could have been for our community. Don't know the details. It's very, very sad. Yesterday, we spoke about a black family man who was electrocuted while he was up on one of the wires, like up on one of the electricity poles. As it turns out, he was installing police cameras in a high crime area. Leroy Garrison Jr. He was electrocuted on Monday. They found him in the truck with live wires. I guess the live wires were just, they were live. That tells you everything they were. And I guess they hit the truck and electrocuted him. And he was putting up He was putting up cameras in high crime parts of town. Quote, He was in the process of putting a police camera up in a high crime part of the city to reduce crime. That was Mayor John Cranley. He said in an interview just yesterday. He offered some words of comfort to his mother, the mother of Mr. Garrison, and he asked for citizens to pray for the man's grieving family, which I certainly will do. And now city council's asking questions. They're asking questions that anybody could ask. David Mann, could it have been prevented? Quote, should it have been prevented? Do we have adequate training? Do we have adequate procedures? Oh, city council to ask those questions? That seems relatively easy. Apparently, the Office of Risk Management is doing its own assessment. So something went wrong. Because I don't think that's a part of the deal, that you're supposed to be electrocuted to death when you're putting up a camera. Are we still doing that? Who knew they were still putting them hot cameras like that? Did you know that? I guess so. How many cameras is there like a website where we can see the various cameras? I'll say it again. Why are we only putting cameras in high traffic areas? It's racist. The camera should be everywhere. We should have ShotSpotter all over this city. Because everywhere is a threat to be the scene of a crime. Just like downtown, Fifth Third building, active shooter. I'll say it again. Nobody likes my idea about putting ShotSpotter in our schools. And that's because I'm a futurist. And most people only can think like past today. Now, let something happen at the school. Everybody be thinking about different ideas. But I don't need to wait until people die. I can kind of, what if, right? Can't we do that? We need more what if. And then put it in motion from our city leadership. Could it have been prevented? Oh, great question there, Mr. David Mann. Appreciate that. Makes me feel nice and safe that you're asking such stellar questions after something happens. Like I'm telling you, to me, when something like this happens, it should be an opportunity for a full review of all procedures across the board. Just to ask what if. But maybe that's too much. Since he Tigers writes, I watched a video on slave narratives. Words straight from them. I was sucked into it. Spent the entire evening listening to the voices of ex-slaves. It was really eye-opening. I learned that enslaved children were denied shoes and had to wear dresses until they became teens. Boys too, really. TNT writes, Mitch McConnell needs to go or just die already. Oh boy. He doesn't seem like he works out. Mitch McConnell looks like he hasn't worked out a day in his life. And you could just tell from the neck up. You can. And you could tell he wears very expensive, tailored suits. That's what a good suit's supposed to do for a man. Hide all that. Make you look good. Angela writes, it's Pride Month. No room for uppity nigger agendas. Oh, boy. They need to put out a message then. It's Pride weekend. We can't be talking about damn Juneteenth. How dare you? Trampling on the rights. Mike Jones writes, good morning, choppers. Mitch McConnell is a lying little... What? Damn, Mike Jones? That's kind of harsh. That's rather harsh. Mitch McConnell is the Senate Majority Leader from the great state of Kentucky, doing everything he can to lead the working class people of Kentucky straight to hell. He's doing everything he can to do that, and he's good at it. Angela writes, Roland has a short neck, so he tries to manage his ankles. Oh, my God. Angela. Leave Roland alone. See, there you go. Leave Roland alone. Roland's a good guy, man. He's a trailblazer. Oh, boy. Tracy, are you still here? Tell me, did Roland grab your phone and say, let me take the photograph? Sissy Tigers writes, be nice, Nate. I'm always nice. I'm always nice. Always nice. Mason Marler writes, why are you warning me, officer? It's hilarious. Taylor's in the house. Good morning. Lynn writes, good morning, great people. Hey, good to see you, Lynn. Retired Lynn. Chilling. What are you doing? Angela writes, I'm going to try my best to call in. Today? Where? Angela writes, seems like the black offense is to play a paranoid defense. That wouldn't be good. That wouldn't be good at all. C says, Mason Muller writes, Broadway and the alt mentals seem shook. Yeah, they are shook. They're shook because their leader is incarcerated right now. Or he was incarcerated. I'm not sure if he's out. I hate to hear about any brother being incarcerated, as I told you before. Sissy Tigers writes, why do you call April Ryan a thought? She's the only one they say that about, right? That's because he's being disrespectful. I just told him why he was being disrespectful. That woman is, for a lot of journalists, male and female, they look at her as somebody to look up to. I give April Ryan props. She ain't perfect, but what I like about her is that she didn't punk out in the moment. Like I said, it's real easy to be sitting, somewhere nice and safe talking shit. It's another to be in the moment, in that moment where you surrounded. It's you and nobody else, or you face to face with it and you still popping off. That's different. And April Ryan did that. She did that, not in a nasty way, but she just did her job. When Sarah Sanders would say something stupid that didn't make any sense, and everybody's in the White House press corps afraid to open their mouth because they don't want to lose their job, April Ryan stood up and said, no, this don't make sense many times. That's why she made a name for herself, because she was willing to stand up and say something. You don't know these only people really you can call out from the White House press corps is Jim Acosta and her. Because those have been the two most vocal folks that said, hey, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. And then they got a response from Trump. They got a response from Sarah Huckabee Sanders and her creepy ass Game of Thrones face that we don't have to look at anymore. So I'm so happy about it. And that's the reason why. So now you want to refer to her in any way as a thought? That hoe over there? No, sir. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. But Drop tries to discredit anybody in the media that doesn't do the bidding of the Republican Party. If April Ryan was on Fox News and she was more of a conservative, but she had the same amount of energy and she spoke up and talked and wrote books, he wouldn't be saying about it. He'd have a t-shirt on with her, with a cape on. He'd be caping for it in. It's the truth. It is the truth. Sissy Tiger's right. We's our own worst enemy. Oh, man, that was hilarious. The Reconstruction era was just another iteration and refinement of racism, white supremacy. Slaves were freed at what cost? ? Another 150 years of oppression, death, and mayhem. Pamela writes, Glenn, I saw that black opportunist, Blacks for Trump dude, did you? You talking about Ken Anderson, or you talking about the Blacks for Trump dude, like that I remember like during the campaign, he just kind of showed up everywhere. And it actually went to the website. It was like blacksfortrump.com. If you go to it right now, it's actually a website. At least it was anyway. April Ryan is one of the most respected reporters in America. But once again, the alt mental and Drop allow their disdain for black women. Alt mental loves the Beckys, but not black women. GTFOH. Well, I mean, hey, real is real. I can't save you. Real is real. I just don't understand why he constantly wants to disrespect this woman. But I won't do it. I got nothing but the utmost respect for that sister. She does great work. Speaking of April Ryan, nothing but great respect for her. Pamela writes, why does Drop constantly bash black people? Is he even black himself, or is he a John hashtag type person? Oh no, why you have to bring John hashtag into this? Oh boy. Oh no. Mike Davis writes, rise and shine, young stars. I want to talk about what happened yesterday locally as well. These are more local conversations. I want to talk about, so as we ended yesterday's show, I was telling you about a op-ed piece that was written by Al Gerharstein and Iris Rowley, one of the choppers. And they were pushing back about an incident that happened recently in which a Cincinnati police officer was badly injured. I saw the face. It looked like he took a little bit of a beating. Okay. And there was some back and forth about it between them and then the FOP president. The FOP president, who actually wrote an op-ed piece in the Inquirer as well. Shout out to Kevin Aldridge for keeping the conversation going. And, what he said essentially was really interesting. It really was. Quote, officers had little opportunity to worry about suspects' mental health. But I thought that, Gerharstein and Iris Rowley made a great point. And the point is that the perpetrator of this particular brutal assault on this officer, and again, it looks like he took a beating. I wouldn't be surprised if his nose took some, I don't know if his nose is broken or not, but he's got severely, it looks like he took a beating. I mean, you can see the image right here inside the Friends page. I posted it myself 14 hours ago with a headline that reads, Dan Hill's response. Dan Hill's response. Okay. So he said, so apparently the perpetrator had a history of mental illness, but Dan Hills referred to the actions of this mentally ill person as evil. And Iris was making the point that, wait a minute, if somebody's mentally ill, that's not evil. That's not evil. And that's a great point to make for a lot of reasons, because it sends the wrong message if people don't resist it. So if we think that just because you're mentally ill, that now your actions can be looked upon as evil, that's a problem for how we look at people who are mentally ill. That's a real problem there. And there's a difference between somebody who has a history of mental illness committing an offense, I believe, and somebody who has I think evil intent would be, like, I hate this class of people, and so I want to eradicate it. To me, that's more of an evil intent. I can't speak about what this man was thinking, but I can tell you, what's being reported and what's been put out there. And this is quite interesting. It goes back to, again, the prioritization and how the people who are the leadership of the FOP, how they look at citizens. I mean, everything can't be looked upon through the lens of, is it a threat to police? That's not why you're on the force. You're not on the force to process everything as, oh, this is a threat to us. It's supposed to be about, enforcing the law, not just about the particular circumstances of the officers who are enforcing the law themselves. What's more important, the officer or the concept of the law? Well, it's the concept of the law, in my opinion. Officers come and go, but the law, what it's supposed to mean, is supposed to be something that is enduring, in my humble opinion. You might feel differently. 513-873-7134. So I just thought it was a really interesting point that they made. And, I feel for this officer, man. I mean, nobody should go on a job and take a beating like that. Looks like he's got a dent or something on his head too. That is not good. But then on the other side, Dan Hill says, look, we ain't got time to be worried about all of that. Come on, something happens. I'm supposed to ask you a question. I'm supposed to what? Take a temperature? What? Oh, this is great. Let's see, Angela posted this 17 hours ago. Nino Brown met Ivey. He went to the Trump house. What? To the White House. Nino Brown. Jesse, you posted something that I can't even read. I'm not even sure what that was 17 hours ago. Nino Brown. Let me go to Nino Brown's website real quick, his Facebook page. Nino Brown. He's a sage. He's a sage. He's a gift from God. He is a brought from God to deliver us flows and enlightenment. That's why. That phrase, winners Ray, I got that from Nino Brown. That's what Nino said that. Yes. Nino Brown went to the White House? That is crazy. What in the hell? I'm not mad at Nino Brown for going to the White House one bit. People are going to say he sold out. Why he didn't sell out. I told you, if you get a chance to go to the White House and they invite you to come into the White House, you should go. The thing is that when you go, just don't punk out. Don't get up there talking about, don't do a Jeff Pastor. Don't do a Jeff Pastor when asked a question about Tracy Hunter before the election. Don't do that. If you're going to go, be a real MC about it. And you get an opportunity to give some real thoughts, give some real thoughts. You never know. You might be able to sway somebody. Never know. Never know. Nino Brown. How did they know about Nino Brown? These damn Trumpsters, man. They thought of everything. Now, the other reason why Trump was able to beat Hillary Clinton, and this has been under-talked about, but the other reason why is because Trump ran a more sophisticated campaign in terms of social media, right? Trump was reeling with these people with the analytics. They were using Facebook pages, Facebook and analytics, and to the point where Facebook changed their analytics. So when you're boosting or you're targeting your ads, it's not the same as it was previous to the 2016 election, because the Trump administration was able to work with people who manipulated their algorithm to help, promote Trump into the White House. And it worked. Damn, Trump is hip to Nino Brown. We don't have a chance. We don't have a chance. We don't have a chance. It's over. Oh my gosh, it is over. Damn, what did Nino say? I might grab some audio from that. Check it out. Somebody writes Magic Negro and just threw that out there. Pamela writes, Mason Marler writes, stuck on the narrative about Trump being a racist. So the Central Park Five, birtherism, Africa is a shithole country, didn't happen. Nick, why please? Yeah, Drop's taking heat. He likes it though. Broadway Flo writes, Mike Jones writes, why did Cheeto lie when he said he didn't lose the popular vote because 1 million people voted illegally? Right. Donald Trump what we've learned is Donald Trump will lie in a second. And it doesn't matter what the lie is about. It could be about something small, medium, large, or extra large, just like your fries when you go through McDonald's drive-thru. Doesn't really make a difference. Don't really make a difference. To him, it's always about in that moment, appearing tough, not appearing weak, appearing like he's right, even if it's something small. Weren't the curtains blue last week? No, they were green. I think they were blue, right? Even though you could look at a video and see they were green. That's just how he is. Inauguration size, which I think was a phallic argument. It was psychosexual in my opinion. But Mason Marler writes, any comments from KKK Dan Hill since this brother was putting up police cameras? I don't believe so. Don't believe so. I haven't seen it anyway. Cameras are everywhere, and there's a central location where everyone is being watched. It's crazy for people to think they can get away with anything. It's amazing to me that, if we can have the manpower to put up cameras and have people monitor it, then why can't we have the manpower for people to monitor in real time the police cameras? Something to think about. Kush writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Iris is in the house. She writes, good morning, great people. We were just talking about that, Iris. Anza writes, she's going to call in to speak with the lawyers tomorrow. That'll be Friday. Okay, great. That'll be great. TNT writes, Mitch McConnell that'll be Friday, 12:30 p.m. Donnie B, the Is It Just Me podcast, kicking off a multi-part series, Know Your Rights. On the first episode, she'll be joined by another brother who we've talked about quite a bit here on the show. If you can remember, Miss D writes, who is a lawyer as well. Of course, I'm talking about Brother Rodney, and they'll be talking about and breaking down. And she already restarted. If you haven't followed Dolly B, she has her own personal page and also the Is It Just Me Facebook group as well, where she's putting up content and questions and things like that. I'm going to share some of that with the Friends page and with my audience as well to try to get as many questions as we can. Again, if you watch that series of videos on Netflix, that series, When They See Us, I'm sure you had questions. I'm sure you had questions, as I did, about certain rights, the legality of things. There was some parents, at least one parent, that did some things that I just can't see myself doing, like allowing your kid to, cop to something that they didn't do just because again, these are some of the difficult positions that people who don't have a lot of means are put in. Do I fight for my justice or do I not? It's a damn shame. TNT writes, we shouldn't even give Dan Dumbass Hill any clicks. That's from TNT. Mason Mahler writes, the alt middle supports the FOP and Dale's Hills. Hashtag African American over here. Oh, man. Did you catch Nino Brown's alleged White House visit videos that Nathan? I'm not sure it's real. Let me check it out right now. I was just talking about it. I just came across it. I saw you posted that. Let me go back here. Let me see here. Here it is. Nino Brown is at the White House, met with Trump, the first act for prisoners to be released. And then there's another photograph of him with Ivanka Trump. I don't know if this is real or not. Here's a video of him talking to somebody. I'm not sure where they are. At the White House, talking to the Trump administration, trying to get TJ from the City Girls out of prison. I'm sorry, JT. Wait. Is JT from the City Girls in prison? Wait a minute. I didn't know that. I've been slacking on my pimping. This is important. JT from the City Girls is in prison. Oh my God. That's a rap duo from Miami. I'm sure you've heard their music before. Young Miami and JT. You've heard it before. Or ask your children or your grandchildren. They've heard it before. Let me see if I can grab audio from this real quick. Sorry about that. Hold on. Let me see if we can get it again here. I'm not even sure you can hear that, actually. I'm not even sure you can hear that. If you can't, then let me stop it, because I can hear it. But I don't think it's registering and going through my stream on Spreaker. I'm not sure. That's an odd. I don't know. I think just from listening to his voice, which sounds a little bit different, it's not as bombastic as it normally is, and looking at the environment, it looks like he met with somebody, Angela. He met with somebody. I'm not sure. I would have to say that he really met with that white guy. I don't know if that white guy works for the Trump administration. It sounded like it. It all sounded good, but I ain't sure. Why would he go to such extravagant lengths just to fool us? Like it was just like something people do, like a gag or something like that, a prank on social media. Okay, I get it, but I don't know. So far, I think it was real. Sissy Tigers writes, Nathan, I shared a post regarding a Southern Baptist preacher's decision to not support efforts to eliminate white supremacy. It was interesting. She writes, please make sure you read it. I will check it out. Okay, here it is right here. Thank you for the links. A resolution condemning white supremacy causes chaos at the Southern Baptist Convention. Oh, not the Southern Baptists? These are good white Christians. What? These are good white folks. This couldn't be. No. I'm going to read just a little bit of it. The Southern Baptist Convention's annual meeting turned chaotic in Phoenix this week over a resolution that condemned white supremacy and the alt-right. On Tuesday, leaders initially declined to consider the proposal submitted by a prominent black pastor in Texas, Dwight McKissick, and only changed course after a significant backlash. On Wednesday afternoon, the body passed a revised statement against the alt-right, but the drama over the resolution revealed deep tension lines within a denomination that was explicitly founded to support slavery. Oh, boy. Thank you for that. I'm going to go ahead and bookmark it and check that out. Love it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. What in the hell? TNT writes, Nino Brown was begging for his homies to get free. They had him in a room with portraits of Trump and Pence with a box of Hershey Kisses. I saw that. I saw that. Until the black population gets above 20%, this is drop, we will always be marginalized by the Democrat Party. Why are you so focused on the relationship between the Democrat Party and African Americans when you're a Republican, drop? Shouldn't you be more invested and interested in dissecting, analyzing, harnessing, rebuilding, bridging the relationship between your party and African Americans? It just seems like you just want to criticize Democrats. So like I said, I mean, if you want to criticize anybody for anything, you can probably find something. I mean, it don't take a whole lot to criticize somebody. Just like with the Democrat Party, it don't take a whole lot to criticize the Democrat Party. They've done enough and have not done enough for black people to criticize them. Okay, we got that. But, you know, these old tropes, kicking up the same old dust, you know, over the same old issues is not moving the clock forward one bit. It's not. Mr. Mueller writes, Dan Hills wouldn't say a damn thing, Angela. Let me say here, if the person had mental problems, Angela, there would be a level of understanding, unlike Dan Hills. The white community and alt-right racist radio, but I could be wrong. I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong. Let me see here. That's cool. I'm on Nino Brown's Facebook page and there's nothing up. You know, he doesn't have anything up. Maybe I missed this. Let me go back a little bit. I don't see anything up, so that's kind of suspicious right there. Really suspicious. Let me see here. Iris just posted a link. Hey, good to see you, Taylor. They saw his family. They could have just paid the dollar right. Like, what police officer out here is trying to run down a family over $1? Okay, I see it now. It is on his Facebook page. June 14th. I have to say that these are all real. And then here's Nino Brown. He writes, President Trump has 3 important economic vehicles for the minorities that need to be exercised by our culture. Today, I was invited to the White House for a meeting with Trump, and Kim Kardashian was in attendance. See, that's Trump understanding, you know, somebody in Trump's camp is smart. That's all I can say. Because Nino Brown has over 1 million people that follow him on Facebook. You can say what you want about Nino Brown, but I like Nino Brown. I do. Nino Brown is a prophet. And he's got hell of a flows. He got crazy bars, okay? And whether you influenced by him or not, there are people that, I mean, I won't say they're influenced in the sense where they're going to do something that's not already in their own best interest, but they'll go to his videos and like them and share them and therefore be influenced by it. You know what I'm saying? And who knew that the Trump administration was that deep into our culture? Like, I've been reading that Republicans are making investments in trying to influence black people. They're trying to influence millennials with new digital media platforms. I'm telling you, this is what I see. That's what I see. Now, I don't see that much with the Democrats. I don't see the Democrats doing that as much on the same level. I see the Democrats trying to do the same old to get the same old results. I'm just telling you what I see. And I'm not saying that the Republican Party is like, oh, some new choice. I'm just telling you that they're putting energy and effort into creating new media platforms. So Blaze TV partnered up with another conservative media digital-based channel. So you had these 2 great, if you want to call it that, conservative talk radio hosts who came together. Mark Levin, whether you listen to him or not, Mark Levin, in terms of terrestrial radio, has like the number 3 or number 2 or 3, you know, in terms of weekly listeners in the country. Say what you want about him. I think he's crazy as hell, but people like him. And then you had Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck created Blaze as a digital media platform after leaving Fox. And then it got transformed into Blaze TV when he teamed up with Mark Levin. So you Google it and go to their website and see what they're doing. That's what they're doing. They're trying to interact with millennials using digital media, using new media. I don't see the same thing with it. Ever since Air America, the Democrats got punked out. I guess they just got out of the media business. I don't know. And I'm talking about on a national level. Okay, I'm talking about a national level. So ever since Air America, which I used to listen to, I thought Air America was a great idea, but, for whatever reason, it didn't work out. I think it was ahead of its time. That's what I think. It was ahead of its time. Now, what you do see is TYT. Now, I think it's fair to say, but they criticize Democrats as well. They call themselves progressives, and they feel like they're left of the mainstream Democrat Party. So it's not really the Democrats per se, but of course, I think if I had to go out on a limb and guess, I would say that most of those hosts on TYT probably are more to the left than to the right. I mean, it's just a hunch. So now they're reaching out to Nino Brown, the Trump administration, and it's smart. They got Nino Brown on here talking about Trump administration policies, y'all. I just read it. It's right here on his Facebook page. Man, smart people. Smart people. We shall see. Minister of Info writes, what's up, Nate? Hey, good to see you, Minister. Barbie Flo writes, oh no, Nino Brown met with Trump. Got to hate that brother now. Brainwashed. You don't have to hate Nino now. You don't have to. He may not be the real Nino Brown, because we know what happened to Steve Harvey. That's not the real Steve Harvey. I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't have a problem with the brothers meeting with Trump. So what? People act like it's the worst thing in the world. But if you had an opportunity to meet with Trump, you would take it, though, right? It's not meeting with Trump. That's not the issue. You shouldn't meet with him. There's nothing wrong with having a meeting with Donald Trump. The problem is that when it turns into a photo op, most people punk out. I'm not going to say nothing. Don't want to say the wrong thing. No, he brought you on for a reason. Speak your mind. What is this? When your money knows you can't afford to be spending it. That's hilarious. Oh, man. Good morning to you. Here's my number, 513-873-7134. I know I got way out ahead of myself here. TNT writes, why is the union head even speaking on this matter? Is this union negotiation? Is the officers being sued? Why is he holding a press conference about this anyway? He's not the chief of police. He needs to sit his media whore ass down. Oh, man, strong words. We had Racker with that one. Strong words. Very strong words. I read the response to the op-ed piece written by Gerhard Steen and Iris Rowley from Dan Hills, and I thought, it's just the same old BS. It's the same old BS. Nothing changes, it seems. So I just question whether Dan Hills is a positive influencer, in the city of Cincinnati, or is he just kicking up dust and making the rank and file feel like somebody's out to get him? Oh, it's us against them. You're going to a war zone when you're driving to Avondale. Oh, you can't trust anybody. And if that's what's happening behind closed doors between Dan Hills and the FOP, I wouldn't be surprised. Because you see it manifesting itself in the actions of some of the officers. Not all the officers, but some of the officers. I don't get it. He said, is it a John hashtag type person? Oh, my God. John's cool, man. He just got his bias. He's a police officer. He's got his bias. He's going to be police friendly first. We get it. Nothing wrong with that. Do your thing. It doesn't mean we have to go for it. But at the same time, it is what it is. See, somebody posted inside the Friends page, Parents Town Hall Meeting and Education Resource Fair. That's going to be on June 25th. Okay, great. That's local. It's local. Central Park 5, everyone is angry at the district attorney, but what about the cops that did the interrogations unlawfully? ? That's Daniela Bailey. Again, check out the show on Friday. You can watch it live from the Send Digital Media Facebook page. Appreciate you. And we hit 400 followers It's big. That is huge. Oh, man. Happy birthday to Eugenia Ruffin Moore. It's great. All right, let me take a quick pause and we'll come right back and take your phone calls. 513, and we'll continue the conversation. 513-873-7134. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, live, local, and vocal, powered by Sin Digital Media, your new urban voice in Cincinnati. And we will be right back.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off for school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, finally did it. I opened a 401k.
So you're giving up, just like that.
Giving up on what?
I'm getting an inheritance from a distant relative.
Don't you think if there were a billionaire in the family, we'd know about it by now?
Listen to me. We are one phone call away from riding horses on our own private polo grounds. One call from christening yachts, having a butler, using summer as a verb.
How do you figure?
Look, everyone's got a rich uncle somewhere. It's statistics. So the best thing you can do is just prepare for the inevitable.
Right, which is why I thought maybe it would be smart to take control of my finances. You know, start using a budget, get out of debt, set some retirement goals.
Budgets? Debt? You watch your mouth. Retirement shouldn't be a goal for us. It should be a way of life.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Hey, everyone. Let's all stop what we're doing right now and take a moment. That felt good, huh? Just like that, we had a nice, special sort of moment together. Of course, they don't all need to be quiet moments to be special. They could be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. Sounds like somebody agrees. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Today, call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Dear John, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but you've left me no choice. I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is really serious, and lately you seem to really not care. I've been there for you since day one, and I know you think I'm gonna keep ticking. But no, my friend, I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to the good times, when we were more active and ate more healthy foods, and you checked on me every once in a while? Is that too much to ask? I don't want to leave, but unless you stop ignoring me, what else am I supposed to do? Remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
All right, good morning, all. Welcome back. Nate Ivey in the air chair, nathanivey.com, SinDigitalMedia.com. Go to our website or to our Facebook page, Sin Digital Media. On Facebook, follow, like, and share. Appreciate you in advance. All right, a couple of things going on I want to bring to your attention. Today, of course, is Juneteenth. which means all conversations are open. If we want to talk about the relationship that black people have to this country, I'd like to have your thoughts this morning. 157 years. Where do we go from here? What's the next step? Some people say it's reparations. Is that the next step? Really? Shout out to the voice of Black Cincinnati. I see in their most recent post just 2 hours ago, they did there's been a lot of murders going back to May. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 individuals, all African American, all men have been killed from Columbia, Tusculum, East End, Price Hill, Bond Hill, Cheviot, Price Hill, Bond Hill, Bond Hill, Bond Hill, Price Hill, Price Hill. And nobody seems to know what's going on. That's good media right there. That's good black media. The voice of Black Cincinnati is media, in my opinion. That's media. It may not, look like a radio station, or it may not look like MSNBC, but that's exactly what they are. And she definitely has an impact in the community. Shout out to them. That's a great post right there. I'm going to reshare it as well so people can see it. Because, we hear about somebody getting shot and being killed, and if it's not somebody that we know, a lot of people just like, damn, that's messed up. You just kind of go on. But I think putting a face and names together, I think that means something. Yeah, I believe that. Just me personally. What do you think? Juneteenth, 157 years. What do we do next? Somebody on my Facebook says, happy Juneteenth. We are finally all free. Vote blue no matter who in 2020 so we can stay this way. Yeah, one of my Facebook friends says, vote blue, not blue. Vote blue no matter who is what she said. Vote blue. Is that the right remedy? Vote blue? Tell me. 513-873-7134. And of course, we have the Congressional Black Caucus. The Congressional Black Caucus doing their thing. A lot of folks don't know who they are or where they are, but they're there and they have an impact. I don't know what should we do differently? And by we, I'm talking about the descendants of slaves. What should we do differently over the next 157 years? And I started thinking about this. And I think, I think one thing that we should do, no matter what your age is that we should have a 100-year plan. I think that black people need a 100-year plan. I think you should have a 100-year plan for your family. I don't have one. I just came to me just thinking about this topic over the last 24 hours. But I'm going to sit down and develop a 100-year plan with myself, my wife, and my children. Now think about that. A 100-year plan. Now, I'm not going to live to be, to see 100 years from now. 100 years from now will be 2119. 2119. What will be the state of your family and your family name, your family's wealth in 2119? Should you not care? I'll tell you one thing about the Chinese. The Chinese have a 100-year plan. That's why the Chinese will always beat us. Number one, they have more control. They don't have some of the democratic restraints, red tape, and checks and balances. So when they decide to make a move, they make a move, and the people have to deal with it. But the one thing about the Chinese is the Chinese are long-term thinkers. Like literally, they have a 100-year plan. That no matter who is the president, this is the freaking plan. And why can't we have individually, right, in our own families, a 100-year plan? If you're working right now, maybe it's you got a mortgage. Are you just going to leave it to your kids? Is there no plan? Do you trust them to follow their own guidance and to successfully fulfill your plan? Like literally, like if you own property, if you're building wealth, what's going to happen with all of this once you die? You just going to hope you teach your kids the right thing? I say plan. Yes, I say plan. Something to think about. So one thought. Anybody else have any others? What are we going to do differently over the next 157 years that's going to change anything for descendants of slaves? And it's not going to be, we're just going to get louder about reparations. It can't just be that, because there's just so many other factors into reparations actually happening. Just a few thoughts. What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear them. Love to hear them this morning. 513-873-7134. Love to hear your thoughts. Mike Davis writes, reparations to be heard on Capitol Hill today. I will be paying attention. Tracy writes, I am in an Uber alone and he is lost in the woods. What? Minister writes, Nate, you get my email? I did. You're on the list, Minister, and I'll be reaching out today with more instructions. See. What more details should I say? Not really instructions. My husband is tracking me on Life 360. What? Life 360? You said you're in an Uber right now? Lynn is out. She writes, have a great day, everyone. Hey, good to see you, Lynn. Thank you for being here. Danny Glover and Ta-Nehisi Coates will speak to Congress today. I prefer Jim Kleeman and Dr. Claude Anderson speak. Yeah, but they're big names. I agree with you on that. Mike Davis. I agree. I mean, Ta-Nehisi is dope. Ta-Nehisi is dope. So, but we'll see. We'll see. We shall see. Mike writes, Tracy, you got to keep your 22 in your purse. Tracy writes, I got to get a gun. Grimacing. Well, listen, the Nathan Ivey Show is presenting and organizing. It's going to end up being a series of CCW classes for a couple of reasons. Number one, we've already got some spillover. People are really, really interested in the CCW class on July 13th. But already there's about 5 individuals that can't make it that day. So we're going to do it again. Secondly, as I said, that, as we try to figure out who ultimately, we're going to end up working with, I want to work with several people and get a sense of what people have to offer. And there's some other folks out there that have facilities as well. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's very, very important. But what's also important to know is that even when you're going through those CCW classes, I mean, that's a very serious thing. There have been people who have had accidents, and we want to make sure that everybody's safe and that everybody, gets what they're trying to get out of it and everybody goes home safely. Okay. But as I said, I want to do more tactical. I want to find a place that we can go to on a regular basis so that we can get proficient target practicing, put us through some tactical situations. And there is a facility I came across here recently in Cincinnati or near the Cincinnati area that might fit the bill. So this is a jump off point and I'm looking forward to it. Jackie writes, Trump is doing a bait and switch to get your black vote. He said he's not going to apologize to the New York 5. Well, to me, if you can't apologize to the Central Park 5, you definitely don't deserve no votes. You can't even admit when you're wrong. You can't even admit when you're wrong. And clearly he was wrong. Clearly Trump was wrong, asking for the death penalty for the Central Park 5. And then when the information came out, they tried to make it seem like it was some kind of affirmative action, decision. Like, oh, they only got off because they're black. No, they only got off because they didn't do it. There's no evidence. They were exonerated after they were found guilty and incarcerated, which is not the same thing. I'm sure that the Central Park 5 would have preferred. Oh, thank you so much, Pat. I really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate it. It means everything. Yeah, the Central Park 5 never should have went to jail in the first damn place. Never should have happened. I mean, let's be real. That would have been, real justice would have been they never went to jail in the first place. That would have been real justice. Everything else is trying to make up for. Yeah, you know it. Ms. D writes, the exonerated 5 is the new appropriate way to refer to them, Nate. You know what, Ms. D? Thank you for that. I will refer to them as that as well. the exonerated 5. Let everybody know what really happened, what really went down. Let everybody know. I'm reading that City Council is about to put a very serious effort forward to dealing with the low-income housing shortage in the city of Cincinnati. Whether you know it or not, if you travel to Cincinnati, if you come to Cincinnati, you're going to probably stay in an Airbnb, and that's going to be close to probably OTR. So you're not really going to get a chance to see a whole lot of the city. And even if you do, you're not even going to know what you're looking at. Or you're going to stay at one of our nice hotels near the downtown area, so you're not going to really see Cincinnati. But there is an affordable housing shortage. We don't have enough affordable housing units in the city of Cincinnati because everything's going up, up, up. Every single neighborhood, up, up, up. You move out your neighborhood, you go back to your neighborhood, you almost won't recognize it. But now City Council is saying they're going to put together a serious effort, and they really mean it this time, to deal with it. And again, I think the people on City Council, all of them care about the city. So I think that maybe that means good things. Here it is. City leaders pledge action plan for affordable housing crisis. Well, that's great because we're almost election time again. And this is the quote from the mayor. This isn't just talk. This is action. Mm-hmm. Oh, really? From talk to action? Where have I heard that before, Mr. Mayor? Yeah, we need that, Mr. Mayor. We need you. He says, quote, this isn't just talk. This is action. We are recommitting ourselves to affordable housing and dealing with the increasing problems of being able to maintain one's homes. What I would challenge Mr. Cranley is that the months that you were spent trying to get the former city manager out could have been spent on this. The two of you could have been working together on this a year ago, but no, you wanted Harry Black to leave. Wasted energy. Now, this is something that's worthy of local news, not damn text messages. It's what the focus should have been from day one. It would have been a great thing for the community if instead of, Brian Shrive and Christopher Smitherman and others spending a whole lot of time talking about the gangified text messages, if they were talking about this affordable housing crisis shortage, if we had a competition of ideas, that would have been great for Cincinnati. That would have been great. We might be further along in this effort, but clearly this is a long overdue conversation. The city of Cincinnati is throwing its support behind a major effort to solve the community's affordable housing crisis. It's not the community's affordable housing crisis. It's the city's affordable housing crisis. This ain't just a community problem. This is a city problem, citywide. Quote, there's hundreds of thousands of families that are paying far more than 30% of their incomes on housing, especially families that are making less than $40,000 a year. The city recently created the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. They're saying that it should have about $600,000 in it in the first year, and that money is expected to grow. So it's called the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. Yeah. I see that as a part of the project, Cincinnati-based Cohere has been meeting with residents to understand how they view the problem and possible solutions. Are you aware of Cohere? And essentially what they do is they bring residents together with decision makers to help them get a sense of how to solve problems. Yeah, that's what they do. And apparently they're involved with this as well in terms of working with the stakeholders, the decision makers, and also the residents to kind of figure out what they can do. Quote, our work engaging residents and neighbors across the city has made plain the tremendous need for concerted action to address our critical lack of quality, affordable housing. And, what I can tell you is that I believe that the people over at Cohere are very serious in their efforts to try to make that happen. I think it is a very sincere thing. Are you aware of Cohere? Have you ever heard of them before? Are you aware of what they do? Have you worked with them before? Perhaps you've been a part of something they've done already. Very interesting. Other cities, Detroit rolled out a $125 million fund to address housing needs. Charlotte announced a $150 million fund just last August to encourage the development of more mixed income housing. So we don't know how far or how much money Cincinnati's going to have in their fund or what the criteria are for people to access the fund, right? Because that's going to be critical information right there. But as it is reported, I will let you know. Angela writes, must be close to election time. We have council focused on identifying issues again. Yeah, it must be close to election time. It must be. Because we're going to solve the affordable housing crisis. We're going to solve it now. You've been on council. Council's been in session for 2 years. Now you're going to jump on it? Now, maybe it's fair to say that now is being reported that they're going to jump on it. Maybe these things have been happening behind the scenes, and they're just to the point where they want to start announcing some movement. That could be too. Professor X writes, preach. What's up, Professor X, a.k.a. KC? The almighty X Squad. Man, what's up with the X Squad affiliates? What's up, man? Mr. Muller writes, only slaves have a master. Change your mentality or stay stuck in reverse. I agree with you. You can't change your mentality. And your mentality can change your circumstances. Angela writes, council could have also been focused on the Child Poverty Collaborative instead of trying to save Harry Black's job, which in the end netted him more money than the settlement they wouldn't sign off on. Poor judgment, in my opinion. Mike Davis writes, Danny Glover is conscious, but I prefer the two giants, Kleeman and Dr. Anderson. I hope they are at Capitol Hill today, as they are having a power talk in D.C. this weekend. All our most powerful teachers are there. Professor James Smalls, Dr. Anderson, etc. Mr. Kleeman is yet to receive the Dr. Francis Cress Welding Freedom Fighter Award. Is that right? I love that. That's beautiful. I got a call here. Let's go to the phones. I think we got Tracy on the line. Good morning, Tracy. Welcome to the show.
How you doing? Let me know if you can't hear me, and I'll try and move to a better spot.
No, I can't hear you.
Okay. So I'm fine. I'm out of the Uber, and I'm where I'm supposed to be. But I wanted to tell you what happened to me. Wait a minute. What's today? Wednesday? What happened to me at work Monday? So I really can't go into specifics because of where I work, but let's just say in what I was doing, I was issuing somebody a badge, okay? And she asked me, she said, what are you going to do with the old badge? And I said, I'm going to shred it. I'm going to discard the badge. And then she looked at me and she said, well, is there a record of all the badges that I have ever had under my name here? I said, yeah, it's right here in the computer. And she said, good. And then she breathed a sigh of relief. And she looked at me, she said, because I wouldn't want you to try and sell it to any criminals or anything.
Why would you do that? What in the hell?
I was just like, and I know this is way off of the subject of what you've been talking about. I had to tell just the boldness of people. And I just looked at her and I said, I don't know who you think I am. I said, but I don't know any criminals. Like, lady, what would make somebody just fix their mouth to be that bold to say something like that? So after I said that, she looked at me and she took her new bed and she said, okay, have a nice day. And she went on about her way. And I'm just like, so I told my counterpart who I work with, who was not in the room, because it was just me against her, which makes it my word against her word, right? And she said, well, maybe she was just playing. I said, she wasn't laughing at all. I said, she was dead serious. So I don't know. It just really left a foul, bitter taste in my mouth. But, you know, I guess that's just the thought process of, you know, you have this, yes, and I'm going to make it about race. Black girl sitting here. No, she was not white. She was Asian. sitting here behind this desk with all of this access to my information, and no, she's not going to shred it. She's going to sell it to a criminal. I'm still floored about that. Here we are 2 days later. But,
well, and rightly so, because, she was trying to be slick. Like, who the hell does she think you are? And who is she to say that to you?
Like, and I wanted to say, I went through just as much background getting this position as you did. None of us can get away with anything in what we do. You know what I'm saying? So, it was just the audacity for her to, like you said, try and be slick, throw shade, whatever we want to call it. But, this is the day that we live in, and this is still the assumption that they have of Black and brown people. So,
right. Then okay. So the other side of part about it is, like, people might be like, well, you overreacted. If it was a white person in the same position that you were in, maybe she would have said the same thing. Did you ever consider that?
No.
Yeah.
Because it I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say it never happens to them, but it always happens to us. That's the way I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? I had another incident before years ago when my boys were small, and I was at the grocery store, and there was somebody who went through the line, and she used an EBT card, and I was behind her, and she was scanning my groceries, and this was a Black girl that asked me, how you going to pay for this, cash or EBT? And I looked at her and I said, are you going to ask the white woman standing behind me how she's going to pay after I get through? Because I don't even know what an EBT card is. Because I came from the era when there was paper food stamps. I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. But I was just like, it's got to be something that the girl in front of me used because she swiped something. And then she just looked at me, and I remember writing a letter to corporate to Kroger, and they were just like, we're sorry this happened to you, blah, 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 blah. Here's a coupon for nothing, basically. But my point is it always happens to us. So, no, I didn't think, well, if she was white sitting in my chair, would that happen? No, I'm just going to say no, because it always happens to us. But as you can see, I'm venting. I'm still mad about it.
No, I'm glad. Listen, this is a place to do it. Choppers support choppers. I mean, I don't know what I would have done. I've had those kind of situations. Things happen to me. I don't always remember. I don't know how I use it. And then the older I get, the less I care. I work for myself now. So I'm just like in a FU kind of state of mind. So that's like my new favorite phrase now. But I want to ask you, when Roland took that photograph, did he take the photograph himself?
Man, let me tell you about Roland. So my whole intention, when I went up to him, I said, hi, Roland. I introduced myself, and it was a lot of people trying to get at him. And I said, can I get a picture? I said, I want to get a picture for my friend Nathan Ivey. I said, do you remember him? He interviewed. He didn't even hear what I said. He snatched my phone and held it up. He said, oh, your lens is dirty. And he cleaned off the lens, and he took the picture, and then he was on to the next picture with somebody else.
Yeah, that sounds like
But
Roland.
I drew out your name, and he was so busy trying to take the pictures and get out the door,
I doubt he would remember me. He introduced a lot of people, and we didn't have that much of a connection, but I appreciate it, though. That sounds about like Roland. He wants to take the photograph himself. He held it up with his right hand and says, it's always the same photograph, no matter what.
I mean, it was like, wait a minute, I'm not ready. He was just like, snap and go, and he was out the door. So.
Oh, yeah, he's been doing the whole personality thing for a long time.
I didn't hear you.
I was saying, you could tell he's been doing the personality thing for a long time.
Yeah. So I'll be leaving out of here at 3 o'clock today, headed back to Cincinnati. Do a prayer up for you, girl, because I do not like to fly. But I just wanted to share what happened to me Monday.
Okay, I will. Okay, thank you for that. And have a safe flight.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, most def. That's Tracy checking in. How dare they? So damn disrespectful. We were trying to get somebody else in. Iris, please call us back. And let me know. She was trying to get in. I think she wanted to talk about Cohere. So please call on in. Let me know. Yeah, Leonard Pitts Jr., who I haven't spoken to in too long, man. He is a very, very good columnist, brother. I like reading anthologies. Like, I like to get a book. They call it an anthology. So it's one topic, and then you may have like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, maybe even 10 different, opinions or pieces all about that same thing. And so I read a book And there was a piece in it written by Leonard Pitts Jr. And the title of it, I'm paraphrasing it, was A Time to Say F You. And basically what his point was is that there comes a time when the best thing to say is F you. And now I'm just at a point in my life where I seem to be throwing that phrase out a whole lot now. Because sometimes, it just kind of works. Like I was at I went to a game store. And again, I told you I used to be a good gamer. So sometimes I'll walk in a game store, haven't bought anything, but I'll just go ask some questions and see what's out now. So it was a white woman helping me. And she asked me, I asked her a question. I was trying to explain something to her, like, yeah, I'm looking for this kind of cable to do this. And it was something I had in my head that I might want to do one day. I had no intentions of purchasing anything right then. I just wanted to look at it and see if it was possible. So in the middle of me explaining it to her, she cuts me off, right? And she says, well, you don't have to explain it to me. Like I could tell she kind of took it like it was some kind of gender thing. And I said, fuck you. I'm the customer. I said exactly what I want to say. And then she left and went and told the manager, but I knew the manager. The manager came over and I explained to him what happened. And then she had a little attitude. I mean, just sometimes that's what people deserve. Just tell them F you. Take all that nonsense and take it somewhere else. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Brother Nathan. How are you?
I'm doing great, Iris. I was talking with Tracy. I saw you was trying to call in, but what's going on?
Absolutely. Well, one, I wanted to just make sure that folks are paying attention to the FOP president. Although his job is to negotiate the contract and for the officers, he seems to constantly step outside of his boundaries and his authority. And I just want to make aware that what you are reading, Nathan, into the choppers are exactly what it's like in the room with him. So we go at it pretty frequently. The other piece, when you talked about Cohere, I'm slightly concerned because we will have these pop-up organ or businesses, and Cohere is owned by Dunn Atkinson, and he's a young white Jewish guy. His parents own MedPace, and now all of a sudden he has this big community engagement company where he's going into the Black communities, helping them to determine what it is that they want. And it bothers me, and I've said that to him and people who hire him. Black folks have enough sense to tell you what they need and what they want. And if you really want to help alleviate some of this poverty or joblessness, why don't you hire residents to do their own damn work? Why don't you do that? Why is it that we have to usher in white folks to help us determine what it is we're thinking and what we want and how to formulate that thought? That's insane to me when there have been folk out here doing it forever. So I just wanted to say those two things to you because I heard you talk about the affordable housing crisis, of which who does that impact? And it impacts Black women. We're at the top of that list in need of affordable housing, being able to pay for housing in our communities. And so when we do these things backwards, like you see that's being done, we go out and we hire these white organizations instead of looking at the people who need to have these contracts and who need to be able to do this work in their own community. It's ridiculous. It's backwards thought. So I don't know how real this effort to alleviate the city's problem. It's not just the city's problem, Nathan, it's the county's problem as well. To alleviate this around affordable housing, when you won't even start with affordable contracts and making sure that there's equity in who gets these contracts and making sure that there's a balance in that effort. So I just had to put my 2 cents on there. And last, y'all, listen, it can't just be Iris Rowley and Al Gerharstein checking Dan Hills. If folk give a damn about their policing in their city because you pay for it, you don't pay Dan Hills. Dan Hills is paid by FOP dues, but you pay for the rest of policing. Y'all need to start speaking up and speaking out. He is telling you how he feels. He does have an influence over how these new recruits, what they think when they come out of the recruitment class and how they interact with us on the street. So it just cannot be us fighting for everybody in the city. You saw what he wrote in his response. That's code language. They don't represent everybody. Well, so do you represent all of FOP? And where the hell is the Sentinels? They're FOP members as well. Is what Dan Hill say representative of them as well? So, we can't sit this fight out. This is not a spectator sport. You got to engage, and you got to choke the head off. So I want to be able to stand with you, Nathan. I want to say, fuck you, Dan Hill. I want to say that publicly because it's on. You're not going to get away with saying it's okay to tase an 11-year-old or beat the hell out of somebody because they have a mental health issue. He's not listening to what we're saying to him. They just believe that they can do whatever they want to, no matter how many rules, how many civil rights they violate. And if we just stand idly by and watch them do it, then we'll get what we get. So, Nathan Ivey, I appreciate you taking my rant.
Yeah, thank you for the flow. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yep, she's absolutely right. She's absolutely right. Appreciate it. And I got the word from one of the choppers that's connected, and that's why I went down there. And unfortunately, I was engaged with something else and saw the email late, but I was not so late I couldn't get into the room. And that's why I've reached out to Dan Hills. She's right. It can't just be her, right? It'll be me too. It'll be us. And as I told Mr. Dan Hills, or conversed to him, I mean, you got a voice. You should be heard on all platforms. You can't assume that all black people listen to Lincoln Ware. And even if they do, so what? The questions, the environment is going to be different here. All right. Oh, that's great, man. Key C, that's great. Good interviews. I'll be checking them out, man. Grandson of Nina Simone, great. I mean, Key C, superlative, man. Shout out to the almighty X Squad affiliates. I mean, I say it as much as I used to, but I'll always be at X Squad affiliates. If you're like, who's the X Squad affiliates? That's an affiliation of primarily black podcasters, man. These cats are based all over the country and based primarily in Atlanta. Do great work. You know what? I think we should squad up, Key C, man. Send Digital Media X Squad affiliates. Cincinnati, Atlanta connection. You already know. You already know. Let's do it. Hit me up. It's been a minute anyway. We got to catch up, bro. That's great to hear, man. Jackie writes, drop, it's always going to be blacks believing blacks are guilty. Look at some of the jury. They agreed not guilty for a cop killer. I think the most powerful thing that we can do is two things. One, think long term, a 100-year plan. I am the leader of my family. My wife and myself are the leader of my family. I have the responsibility of setting a course of not just my lifetime, but of the lifetime of my children. Okay? That's my responsibility. It's not enough to say I'm going to leave you something when I die. I want to give you a guide as to what you can do to keep our family name prominent, what you can do to ensure that our family has some financial independence, a 100-year plan for each and every family. Okay, you may not be able to go out into the block and have an impact in the community, but you can lead your own family. Okay, that's what we can do 157 years out of slavery. That's what each and every descendant of slavery has a control over. You can't control what other people are going to do, but you can control what your household can do. You can control what the type of children that you are raising. You can control what you do with your money, what you and your fiance or you and your husband or you and your wife do with your money. Your vote is a drop in a bucket. That's based upon other people, but you can chart the course of where your family is going to go in a meaningful way and with intentionality. We mistakenly back-ending into success and financial independence. I don't believe it. It's got to be done with intentionality, the same way we program children. The best programs in the world are done with intentionality. They're done with a purpose in mind, a goal in mind. I say that's what we bring to our families. Now, I might be preaching to the choir, or I might be reminding you of something you already knew and you ain't thought about in a long time. Whatever the case may be, please love and like and share these flows with the community because they need to be heard. That's what we can do 157 years after slavery. Those are just two things you can do that you have control over. You have 100% control over it. 157 years after slavery, you know what we can do is we can try to make sure that we have healthy, strong bodies. Healthy, strong bodies means healthy, strong minds. And that's what it takes to win the war of being a descendant of slave in America in the new millennium. That's what it takes. You know, everybody's got their creature comforts, your weaknesses, or whatever you might be into. But those are some of the things that we can control as individuals. You can control you. You have control over your family. You have influence over your wifey, your husband, brothers, sisters. Somebody on Facebook said, I think it was Robert Anthony, he said, is a family a business? And that, yeah, a marriage is a business. So therefore, a family can be a business. Why not? I know of a black mother who I have a lot of respect for, friends with my wife. They've been friends for many years. Her son just at a very young age shown an aptitude to play sports. So she invested at a young age. She's all in. She is the soccer mom. She is the basketball mom. His sport is basketball. And she travels the country, taking him to AAU. And she basically is giving up her life for an investment into her child. That's what it takes. That's one thing she has control over. She can't control the father. The father's not in the picture, but it don't matter. She still is investing in her son. That's what it takes. These next 157 years. So we can talk about what we can do as a community. We should do this. We should start that. But I'm talking about what you can do as an individual. What you have control over is you, your body, your health, what comes out of your mouth, the kind of spirit that you exude in the community, what you do individually in the community, what you do in terms of your own personal, financial freedom. I mean, you have complete control over that, right? So let's start right there. That's what matters. A marriage is a business. Don't marry anybody if it's not somebody that you can't go to business with, because that's what you're doing. It is a business. And if you don't look at it that way, then I think that you're going to miss what could be something very valuable in your relationship. That's why they say the best thing a man can do is find a good woman. I believe that. I'm living proof of that. No doubt about it. 100%. 100%. But then when you find this good woman, you have to listen to her and squat up with her. Get out of your ego and your toxic masculinity and see what you have in front of you. A lot of dudes can't do that. A lot of dudes are living with superstars and don't know it. They have no idea what they're dealing with. It's very sad. Very sad. Roland was like Nathan Ivey, the newspaper guy, right? Again, I like Roland, man. Roland was nice to me. He was nice to me, and plus, I respect Roland. I see Roland as a pioneer. And what I like about Roland more than anything else is that when he left TV One, he didn't just give up. He started his own thing. And you got to respect people, man, who, again, the public might have looked at it however they want to look at it. Roland said, nah, I'm not done yet. I'm going to do my own thing, and he's still doing it. I respect that. Jackie writes, drop is all, I think I read that already. People are cracking up. Let's see here. Mike Jones writes, Cheeto and Mitch McConnell deserve the FU. That's right. Yeah. Back to my man, Little Pitch Jr. He wrote this piece titled, A Time to Say Fuck You. And the older I get, the more I realize how fuck you is so appropriate so many times. And you got to mix a lot of words. Fuck you. Keep on going. When you got to go back and forth, fuck you. Keep on going. Try it. Try it. You're going to feel a lot better. Some people just deserve that. No words, no back and forth, just F you. And just keep on going with your life. And they will get the message. And I was pissed off. I mean, you pop it out. You don't have to tell me that. I don't have to tell you that. I'm the customer. What do you mean I don't have to tell you that? What is wrong with you? Don't take you had a problem with your Uber driver. You want to take it out on me? No, we're not having it. TNT writes, the older I get, the more I don't give a fuck. TNT, you know what I'm talking about. The older I get, the less I don't give a fuck no more. It just really don't matter. And I never really gave a fuck, really, but now I'm willing to just say it more and just own it. So what? You know what I'm saying? Because what you realize is that, like I said, there's a lot of the vast majority of people in this world are cool. It's just a few of them out here is always on some dumb ish. And you just they gotta be checked, and then you just move over them. You don't spend too much time with these idiots. That's why God invented the phrase "fuck you." That's why God invented it. He invented it for those moments. It works good with friends, too. Sometimes you got to tell friends, fuck you. You know, it's just what it is. Man, you'll feel much better. Mike Davis writes, Kleeman helped found AFM Chamber, the African American Chamber of Commerce. Yeah, I like Mr. Kleeman. Mr. Kleeman was a good guy, man. I got a book that he gave me that he actually wrote some very personal stuff in that book to me and my daughter. I guess he had just checked out the show. He really liked the show, liked the flows. And he presented that to me one day. I think he came down to the studio or something like that and gave it to me. And, of course, I still have it. And he wrote some very nice things about me and my daughter. It was a very, very, very nice gesture from Mr. Kleeman. Like I said, I mean, you know, it's a lot of good people in the city. Yeah. TNT writes, no Kleeman fan. He tried to run my cousin over. Fuck him, too. Damn, straight to the point. Sharp writes, good morning. Good morning to you, Sharp. D Wizzle writes, good morning, Choppers. Hey, good to see you, D Wizzle. As always. Let's see. Pam writes, Nate, you hit the nail on the head. When you start speaking about health, I'm working on holistic health and wellness coaching certification. Let's get it. Pam, well, let us know how we can be involved or to promote what you're doing, or just, you know, the door's always open. You already know. Chauvinist Nate trying to clean up after earlier statement. Did I say something chauvinist? What did I say earlier? I really don't remember saying anything chauvinist. Did I say something chauvinist? I don't remember that, man. I certainly wasn't, because I wasn't trying to clean anything up. I was just, speaking my true heart, man. I really feel that way about my wife. And from my observation, I feel that way about women in general. You know, men can be real dumb. We get caught up in our egos, and, you know, we get caught up in our emotions and what it means to be a man and all this other kind of stuff. And I've just seen in my personal and professional life the influence of strong black females who, in a lot of cases in leadership positions were every bit and not even better than men. And that's why the Bible says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. It's true. There's not a man alive who don't look better with a woman on his arm. There's not a man alive that don't look better with a woman on his arm. Think about that. There ain't a man alive. There's not a politician alive that don't look better, more attractive than with a wife, at least one woman, at least one of the female species in this entire globe that'll vouch for your ass. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's part of the reason why, certain married men get a lot of play, because being married makes them look attractive to certain women because they got a woman already. It's the truth. Come on, man. This stuff is biblical, man. We all know this. There's not a man alive that don't look better than he does when he has a woman that accepts him and says to the world that he's okay. There's no man alive. Denzel, Idris, there's no man alive. And that's the way God or Darwinism or the universe made it. It's that way for a reason. My wife makes me look a whole lot better. She makes me look spectacular. Without her, I'm a bum. I'm a bum without her. We all know it. Keep it real, Nate. Nate's keeping it real. Somebody tweet that. Nate's keeping it real this morning. It's the truth. It is the truth. So no, I'm not a chauvinist, man. I'm a realist. I see things for what they really are. TNT writes, how do you go from preaching black economics is the new civil rights to attacking the lone black-owned business on the banks? And when you ask them why, they say, well, it has to be the right black-owned business. WTF, ? Are we here to help advance all colored people or just the right colored people? ? Hypocrites. Damn, she got a point there. We must admit she's got a point. I had forgotten about that, TNT, but I can see it's fresh on your mind. She ain't letting that go. I had forgotten about that, but she's absolutely right. That does make a good point. I think I may have asked that question myself back in the day or when that conversation was going on. I do remember that. You're right. That is a fair question. The Mason Marler writes, actually taking money from the community and caping for Smitherman puts you in a different bracket in my book, Mike D. I'm just saying. Uh-oh. Speaking of elected officials, I reached out to Charmaine McGuffey, who is running to be the next Hamilton County Sheriff. There are Democrats that support her against Jim Neal, who's a Democrat. Yeah. So think about that for a second. But I did reach out to her people, and they're excited about coming on the show. And I say it because that's what they have said to me. That's what they conveyed to me. They can't wait to speak with the Nathan Ivey audience. It looks like it'll be Monday of next week, or it will be next week. But, she's having it'll be next week. And the day that I'm strongly suggesting is Monday. I'll look for confirmation. I was given like Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I took Monday. I mean, let's get to it, right? So let's get some Charmaine McGuffey questions together, start thinking about it. Friday, over the weekend, I'll be putting stuff out on the Friends page and on my page, just trying to solicit your questions and comments and things like that. And let's get a better understanding of what the Hamilton County Sheriff actually does. Therefore, it will inform our questions so that, we don't waste our time with her. Of course, I'll be prepared as always to lead the conversation, but I'll be more than willing to take your questions as well via the Chop Shop, or perhaps we can set it up so people can call in straight into the show, which I think we haven't done yet, and that'll give you more access directly to these candidates. It's election time, y'all. It's election time. It's election time right now, whether you know it or not. And since, we're Cyber Wakanda, we need to be out in front of everybody else. So let's start those conversations a little bit earlier. Hey, I just missed a call. Call me back, and I'll put you straight on. Sorry. Just getting caught up in the rapture of flow. Oh, Tanika writes, we Nate Law the F-bomb side. I'm sorry, Tanika. Hopefully the kids ain't around, but you're right. People at work, I understand it. I'm trying to be sensitive. I know of at least one woman whose boss has asked her to turn it down, literally. Like, turn that man down right now. So I do need to watch that. But I was just making a point. It is the internet. We are grown. It's true. The older you get, the more you don't give a damn what nobody got to say. Well, somebody got to think, somebody's attitude. Man, you want to hit the roof, but you can't really do that because, it's not really worth the liability to you, right? The time and expense, the criminal prosecution. So you just hit him with that F-bomb. Boom. And it'll make you feel better. Trust me. TNT writes, I used to really look up to Klingman, but I seen his true colors and it ain't pretty. Oh, boy. And then Iris Rowley put 100 to TNT. Oh, my God. Iris writes, Nathan Ivey, is it Fuck You Wednesday? I think we should do Fuck You as Friday, right? Because that's when you really want to tell a mofo. It's Friday, Bree. You out here all with this wrong energy on a Friday? TNT writes, I thought he was a wise man, but I see he allows himself to be comprised by Smitherman, who does the bidding of Chris Finney, and that's where it all goes downhill, right? Iris writes, hey, Nathan, did Erica Underwood check in? She's running for judge. She has not checked in as of yet. I did run into her and got a chance to meet her face-to-face, and she is willing to come on the show. I'll reach out to her bright and early, right? So we can talk with her first, okay? Mike Jones writes, spit out the bones. You're right, Mike. We do have to spit out the bones sometime. You're right, but is this that time? Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Guy. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, Guy. Doing great. Welcome.
Shalom. I was wondering, I'm on a golf trip, and hey, listen, Lenny still continues to disrespect us, me and my crew, and like I don't know, I guess dude think he like the gorilla of talk radio is getting on my nerves. Like I said, for 25 years, he walk around here prancing around like he damn King Kong or Harambe. But if you look into Glenn's eyes, all you'll see is Curious George trying to impress the white man in the white hat and the yellow hat, because that's who he is, a signifying monkey.
You're so wrong. You are so wrong. You are so wrong.
And let me give you this, Lenny. I just eagled hole number 9 at Wetherington. Top that. since I'm such a jungle bunny that can't golf. But at any rate, this is what I called to talk about.
Do you have any videos to confirm?
No.
Okay.
Because the camera won't go that far.
Then it doesn't really happen. It didn't really happen.
Okay, well, whatever.
Then secondly, you're not the leader of the alt middle. It's not your crew. It's Black Russia's crew. You work for him.
Oh, wow. First of all, you're trying to cause division, and it's not going to work. Okay, there is no leader. See, only black folks need a leader. Didn't Tina Turner tell you we don't need another hero? We operate as 3 different sets. There is no leader. I'm just the founder. You understand? There is no, that we don't know. Stop it. You need to stop that. Okay? Now, LaVar Ball, Molly Trum fronting. This is a power play for her. Because ESPN is really a launching pad to bigger and better things for women. The only woman it didn't work out for her like that was Michelle Beadle. She tried to take a stance against football. She wasn't on the mic, the Get Up show anymore. And now she's not even on the NBA Countdown next year. They're not bringing her back. She's the only person that it backfired on. Everybody else, the woman play worked for her. Erin Andrews, said she got sexually harassed or whatever. Somebody put the peephole thing.
Somebody looked at her when she was nude, right? Yeah.
Yeah, in a hotel working for ESPN. Carrie Champion did it. Or that comedian was making all those racist Sally Hemings jokes about her while she was on TV. Saying, oh, who's this hot black chick, blah, blah, blah. It worked for her, gave her a higher profile at ESPN. You see what it did for Jamil Hill. Even though she left the company, it's her profile increased, and now this is Molly Curum's turn. That's all this is. She wasn't fronting on. You can't be mad at what LaVar Ball said to you when you married the dirty ass Jalen Hill or Jalen Rose.
Dirty ass.
I mean,
what makes him dirty?
They were pro athletes at Michigan. The only one that wasn't getting paid is the only one that's coaching now, Juwan Howard, because he's the only clean one. The rest of them cats were dirty. Chris Webber, Jalen Hill, and the other 2. Or Jalen, well, I keep calling him Hill.
Dirty
Jalen Rose and the other 2.
Dirty in what way? Like they're doing drugs? What are you talking about, dirty?
Taking improper benefits. Just being unscrupulous. That's why Michigan had to vacate those. Michigan had to vacate those. Are you gonna let me finish?
Yes, go ahead.
Michigan had to vacate their Final Four appearances while they were there. You don't remember that story from like 5 years ago?
I do, and no one cares about. That doesn't make them dirty. There was young kids who was getting exploited. Everybody was selling Michigan jerseys, and
they were breaking rules. I didn't see that they were breaking rules.
Rules are meant to be broken, man. We don't care about no damn rules.
That's what I'm saying about Molly. You ain't mad at what he said. All he said was, you could switch my gears anytime. No, he didn't say you could switch my gears. All he said was you could switch gears with me anytime because she said, I want to switch gears, LaVar.
Right. And they're trying to make that into some kind of sexual advance.
Exactly, right. That's what I'm saying. She's just fronting. They called him in the HR or whatever. ESPN pulled him over to the side. They talked to her. She's just using it as a power play. But what I was saying was, you ain't that offended by that and you're married to a cat like Jalen Rose. Stop fronting.
I get you now.
Stop fronting. You see what I'm saying?
I still don't think that Jalen Rose was dirty. I don't look at him as being dirty.
Everybody was taking dough except Juwan Howard.
Dirty is...
Everybody was getting...
No, that's not dirty, man. Dirty is taking dough for influencing the game some way. Like
you don't think they influence? You don't think they took money for the UC game? They was going to smoke UC.
No.
UC's tallest player was 6'5". All of them are 6'8" and taller.
That happens in sports sometimes.
Just stop. Chris Webber, he go on dunking on Patrick Ewing and them in the Dream Team and dominating them in that game. And he can't score 25 against Herb Jones. Come on, stop. They were taking money. Las Vegas, UNLV, Larry Johnson, them in a hot tub with mobsters, handicappers. They was all taking money back then. Why do you think you get a movie like Blue Chips? You think that was just some dude's fantasy? No, that stuff actually happened.
Yeah, I'm just saying I don't call that being dirty. If you got a blue chipper and somebody give him $30,000 to go play at a school, so what? They should be getting paid anyway.
they estimated that one dude paid at least $284,000. Ed Martin, he's just dead though.
So what? They should have paid.
They was getting paid.
So
they was getting paid when they weren't supposed to.
They should have.
Okay, listen. We could debate. No. They shouldn't have gotten paid. They should have.
Who said
they should have? But at the time, it was illegal.
Illegal.
And they were dirty. They were illegally. Yes, paying college athletes. That's always been illegal.
Man, you do know that there's an open debate about that. I think the general public athletes should be paid.
And I'm on the side of paying them. But don't break the rules because now you done cost us, you got to take down the Final Four banners. It's like it didn't even happen.
Well, that's up to them. That's the consequence of their actions. Yeah. But that don't mean that they're dirty, though. All I'm saying is you call them dirty. That's not, that doesn't qualify to be called dirty.
Oh, we can argue semantics some other time, okay? I just want to say this, too, about Mitch McConnell. We've been arguing
semantics this entire time. At least I have been.
Yeah, I know. And yeah, because you just want to pick fights.
I'm not trying to pick a fight, brother. I'm just saying, really and truly, I don't think it's fair to call them dirty. I don't think what they did rises to qualify to call them dirty.
In the immortal words of your best caller, the Black Lion,
he's not
brother,
my best caller.
Let's move on.
He's not my best caller, but let's move on.
Brother, let's move on, okay?
Let's move on.
Now, Mitch McConnell, what did he say yesterday? We shouldn't pay. There were two things he said. One of them was, nobody living had anything to do with that or something like that. But one thing he did say actually made sense by accident, but that doesn't mean reparations shouldn't be issued. What he said was we wouldn't know who to pay. And then instantly, you know who I thought of? Sean King. Are we giving this motherfucker reparations?
Oh, my God.
Obviously not black, and he's fronting. I'm talking about cats like him. Mariah Carey came out. I ain't black. I'm this, that. Tiger Woods, cats like them. Are we paying these type of cats? You see what I'm saying? Does your skin have to be a certain hue, or is it going to be the reverse brown bag test?
Well, that's a valid question. That's a valid question. What's your guess? What's your guess?
That's what as far as what?
How we should decide who qualifies for the reparations.
Oh, well, at minimum. Well, no, I honestly haven't thought of it. I'm not going to even just throw stuff out there. I haven't thought of it. It's not my job to think of it. It's for people much smarter than you or I to handle that. So I haven't thought of it. I just thought that was a accidentally good question by him. Even though he was just being, contrarian to the issue, and dismissive. Even though he was doing that, he kind of lucked up by saying that. That's all I'm saying. And that's all I got for today. Let's stop with the alt middle dissing. It's getting tired. I'm not going to continue to go back and forth with you cats in the radio. Either we getting physical or we going to go our own way.
Oh, there you go.
That's where I'm at with
Keep it rhetorical.
Seriously.
Keep it rhetorical.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Keep it rhetorical. That means keep our name out of your mouth. Yeah, well, I'm time for y'all.
He don't have to keep y'all name out of his mouth. Who do you think you are?
Yeah, Glenn has to leave us alone. He wants us to leave him alone. Leave us alone.
You don't speak for the alt middle. Black Russia does. Okay. So number one, stay in your lane.
There you go. What you try to do? Cause a Louis Farrakhan to come out of nowhere and swipe somebody and clip somebody? Huh? Is that what you try to do?
That's usually
it's not gonna happen, B.
That's usually
it's not gonna happen. We saw it as a rock. Word to Ashford and Simpson. Oh!
Man. Oh, my gosh. What can you say? What can you say? I think everything you said about Glenn is complete wrong. Disrespectful. Talking about the man in a big yellow hat. Who the hell do you think you are? Black Russia's going to be pissed when he gets out, man. Mason Muller writes, my 6-iron is better than your 3 hybrid, Juicy 4. TNT writes, hey, Mike, nobody is perfect. It doesn't take away from what he has accomplished. It's just unfortunate. My fault for thinking more of someone than they actually were. Mike Davis writes, black man playing with white balls in my Black Lion voice. It's a good one right there. It's a good one. It's funny. Oh, man. Here's Mitch McConnell. Mitch. Yo, Mitch. This is Mitch McConnell.
Years ago, for whom none of us currently living are responsible, is a good idea. We've, tried to deal with our original sin of slavery by fighting a civil war, by passing landmark civil rights legislation. We've elected an African-American president. I think we're always a work in progress in this country, but no one currently alive was responsible for that. And I don't think we should be trying to figure out how to compensate for it. First of all, it'd be pretty hard to figure out who to compensate. We've had waves of immigrants as well who've come to the country and experienced dramatic discrimination of one kind or another. So no,
but we ain't talking about the immigrants. We're not talking about the immigrants. We're talking about ADOS. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about DOS. That's Mitch McConnell. He said we wouldn't even know who to play, how to start. Is that true? I don't think so. I'm not sure. Hey, listen, guys, I'm way over my time by 20 minutes. A couple of things I want you to do. So if you've already reached out to me about the CCW class, I'll be reaching out to you so we can confirm and get everything linked up. I'm simultaneously also going to start another class as well, okay, because there's already some spilloverage. But then I also want to set up a series of events. I would say we could kick this off in, July is, to me, not the best time to schedule a lot of things in late July, because you're going to have July 4th to kick it off. You got a lot of events during July, including the Macy or the Cincinnati Music Fest, which could or not impact what we're going to do here. So, you just kind of tell me and let me know. But I want to set up a series of tactical training courses for us as well, getting on the shooting range, things like that. We want to give everybody a time to get, if you don't have a weapon, to get some information on what weapons might work best for you. Okay. And I'll be in contact with you directly for folks who've already reached out to me. And then we'll also put up the word to everybody else who might be interested in maybe some future classes. The class on the 13th is not closed off. So if you're interested, please let me know and then we'll get that popping. To my lotto folks, I'll be hitting you up on that email thread as well to see what you want to do. Would you like to continue? Again, I'm more than willing to go in with you again. We can do it and see what's going on, right? If you're interested in that, just stay connected to that email thread and I'll let you know, or let me know and I'll add you to the email thread. Okay? So we can all be connected in that way. See, tomorrow is Thursday. Couple things going on this week. I've already told you that another Is It Just Me podcast, a live stream we will go live at 12:30 p.m. And then we'll do the same thing we did before. Put up a countdown probably about 30 minutes before we start. That way that everybody can kind of clue in and, know where the stream is and kind of get ready. It'll count down to 0. At 0, the show will start. And then, Donnie B will get the show started. And she'll be talking about numerous things, including and primarily kicking off a special multi-series that will hopefully be a resource to the community, answering your questions. Some of the questions that may have came up as you were watching the, When They See Us Netflix series, or perhaps when you watched the Khalif Browder story, or, something along those lines. But it's inspired by the Netflix series and the story of what people call the Central Park 5. I like the exonerated 5 better, much better. I'd even rock a t-shirt that read that. So if you've ever wondered, what if that was me? What if you were falsely accused by the police of doing a heinous crime? What should you do? What should you do? And who should you call? And when you call them, what questions should you ask? Before you get a lawyer, as a parent, let's say you get a phone call, your child's down in wherever they take children, wherever you live, whenever they're accused of a heinous crime, a serious crime. And you're freaking out. You don't know what to do. You don't know what questions to ask. So hopefully that series will be a resource to you. So please like and share the Send Digital Media page and check it out. And again, I'll say everything that Send Digital Media is doing with all our podcasts, we're live streaming. We want to live stream everything. We want to give you that visual element so that you can see the personalities and feel, I think, closer to the conversation, as the conversation is unfolding. So expect more of that from what CDM is doing. And we'll connect real soon. Have a great day. Have a powerful day as always. And we'll talk real soon. Remember our motto: winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning. And we'll talk real soon. Okay? Have a great day. And take care of yourselves. I'll be back with you tomorrow morning at our regular time frame, 7 a.m., bright and early. And we'll rock the spot. All right? Have a great day. I'm out.